So I started off with this Stamping Bella Lucille Sends Her Love image. And I've actually done a video before on using a Cuttlebug plate for large stamps, and if I remember when I'm editing, I will link to it in the top corner there. But this is a very large stamp image, so I just used one of my Cuttlebug C plates and inked it up with my Versa Fine Onyx Black ink, and then I'm stamping it onto Stamping Bella's cardstock, the Bella's Bestest cardstock. So then just making sure I've pressed down all parts of the stamp, just like so. And then I trimmed it down, and I'm using my Prismacolor pencils, and then I'm going to use odorless mineral spirits, like the artist grade ones, to blend it. Down the road, I'll probably do a video on just that, because I get a lot of questions when I do it. I don't do it very often, but for images like this, I really like it. And for this one, I started off with the background that I wanted to do first, just because there's so many fine little details, and it'll just be easier this way to do the background first so that I'm not pulling any reds or pinks or anything and smearing it into the background. So I went in with that light aqua first, and then I added the sky blue light, which was that really pale blue that you can't even really see on camera, but just to kind of help it blend out a little bit more. And then I used a paper blending stump and the odorless mineral spirits to blend it out. And then for her skin, I used light peach, and then I took a little bit of the light umber Prismacolor pencil, just to add a little bit of darker areas, and then got a fresh blending stump, this time a smaller one. A person could use the same one, you just need to sand off any of the color that it's picked up from the previous colors. And then yeah, blended that all out, and then added a little bit of pink, which, yeah, it was just pink. And then just use the same blending stump. This time I didn't bother sanding off the color, obviously, just to blend it out a little bit. So she's got a little bit of pink in her cheeks. And on camera, or at least on my computer, her skin looks kind of gross. The color looks off, but in real life, and in the pictures at the end, you see, like, it looks like normal skin color. So anyway, for her hair, I started with just a chocolate Prismacolor pencil, blended that out, and then added a little bit of dark umber. Just kind of scribbled it over the little curlies of her hair, just to add a bit of definition. And then I'm blending it a teensy little bit, hardly at all, because I want that definition still there. So I'm not going to like blend it and soften it so you can't even see it. So just really lightly. So that was it for her hair. And then for her dress, I did canary yellow first, and then added a bit of sunburst yellow, which is just a shade darker. And then finally went in with mineral orange to add the darkest areas. So once I've got that the way I want it, I just go back in with another blending stump and start blending it all together to remove the coloring lines. So that's why I like the Stamping Bella cardstock for stuff like this, because it's really smooth to be able to blend properly. And you just keep going back over it, keep picking up the mineral spirits and using like a small circular motion to blend it out till you've got it the way you want. And you can go back and add more color if you want. More often than not, I don't. So now I'm going on to do the hearts. So I'm just using Scarlet Lake first, and then I went in and did pink on the other ones. And then I'm blending the pink ones first, starting with the lighter, and then I'm going in and blending the red ones without even sanding off, like just using the same blending stump. But that's why I did the background first, because that red is really easy to pick up and smear everywhere, because especially red's kind of a powerful color. So did all that, and then for the ground, I just scribbled on some apple green and then blended that out. And then I just took the same apple green and then just quickly flicked in little grass stems. So really simple. And then I did it the same thing with olive green, and then I finally went in with green ochre just to give it a bit more definition. You just kind of flick them back and forth to give it a little grass, bit of texture. So really fun, really simple. So once I was done coloring the image, I'm using the Echo Park For the Record 2, I think it's called Tailored. Yes, the 6x6 pattern paper, and I'm making this into a 5.5-inch square card, because like I said, this image is huge. So it kind of limits the layout options on a card this size. There's other ways to use these images to, you can cut them down and different things. I'll maybe do that in a different video. But I decided to round the edges of the main image there, just using my little corner rounder punch. I think I got that at Walmart. It's an EK Success one anyway. And then that little strip of leftover flower pattern paper, I didn't want to throw it out because I really like the green pattern on it. So I adhered the main image to my card front and then just decided to adhere that strip right over the main image just for something a little different. And then I've got some Stampin' Up. This is Pretty in Pink taffeta ribbon. And as of me doing my voiceover, I'm not even sure if it's available anymore. I love their taffeta ribbon. It's so nice. Got quite the stash of it. So yeah, wrapped it around the card front, taped down the ends, and then just tied a nice little bow with a second piece on there. And again, having such a large image, it kind of limits your embellishment opportunities, but I kind of wanted the image to speak for itself because I went all that effort coloring it and everything. So then I used my Favorite Things Sentimental Strips dies and cut out a piece of pink cardstock. And use a teeny bit of my ATG adhesive to hold it in place on my craft mat. And then the sentiment comes with the little Uptown Girl stamp. So I'm just using my clear stamp positioner and the VersaFine ink again, making sure I've got everything kind of lined up. And then just using my stamp positioner so that I've got it the way I want it. And that way I get it perfectly straight on that little die cut piece. Super simple. Like I said, tiny amount of adhesive, and then you can wiggle it right off the craft mat and no problem. And then I grabbed my other My Favorite Things. This is the Hearts of Plenty dies, and die cut some red cardstock, and then that little heart punch I got at Walmart. Yeah, Walmart for like a few dollars. So then I'm just adhering the hearts kind of randomly on the card front, and then I wasn't sure where I was going to put the sentiment. I couldn't make up my mind if I wanted it on the right side or the left side. I just kind of kept fiddling with it. But then decided I'd go with the left side. So I'm just using my ATG adhesive to adhere the larger hearts into place. And then I'm going to adhere the sentiment right over one of them. And then, yeah, I didn't realize I'd kind of pushed the card front pretty much off camera here. So I just punched out a few more hearts, adhered the smaller ones with my Tombow Mono Multi adhesive, and then flipped over the card front and I adhered that to the card base itself, which again is 5.5 inches square. So got that all lined up, and then for the inside of the card, I just followed the exact same layout because these pattern paper packs always come with 2 sheets of the same pattern. So cut them down the exact same as I did for the front, and then used a larger white piece for a place to write something, and then remembered last second to round those 2 edges just so there's some continuity there. So quickly did that before adhering that down to the inside, and then added that little green strip, and that is it for the inside of the card. So yeah. Oh, and then of course I added the remaining few little hearts that I had punched out and die cut. So got those done, adhered that to the inside of my card so that it's all done, and then of course I couldn't leave it alone, so I grabbed my, I think, yeah, diamond stickles. You guys know me too well. If I don't use them, I get a ton of comments asking why. So yeah, very lightly, just dabbed them on the dress, kind of some of the random hearts, little flowers in her hair, and that was it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye!